My friends, I want you to stop what you're doing for just a moment because what I'm about to share with you today could save you from a ticket, save you from an accident, and for those of you who depend on your car to get to your doctor's appointments, your grocery store, your grandchildren, it could even protect your independence. And I know how precious that independence is. You've worked your whole life to earn it, and nobody should have the right to take it away from you simply because the rules changed and nobody told you. That's exactly what's happening right now in 2026. Across the country, new driving laws have quietly gone into effect, and the truth is, most drivers, even the careful, experienced ones, have absolutely no idea. We're not talking about obscure technicalities buried in some legal handbook. We're talking about everyday rules that apply to you every single time you back out of your driveway. Rules about your phone, your speed, your headlights, your right-of-way, your license renewal, things that directly affect whether you stay safe, stay legal, and stay on the road. So pull up a chair, grab your coffee, and let's go through every single one of these together, because you deserve to know. Let's start with the one that is generating the most confusion coast to coast. For years, the rules about using your phone while driving varied wildly from state to state. Some states allowed handheld use, others didn't, and it created a patchwork of confusion that even longtime drivers found maddening. Well, as of January 2026, a federal highway safety mandate has pushed all 50 states to adopt a unified hands-free standard. That means no more holding your phone, not to dial, not to text, not to glance at directions, not even to silence a call, period. Now here's where it gets personal. A friend of mine, let's call her Dorothy, a 72-year-old retired school teacher from outside Columbus, Ohio, got pulled over in February. She wasn't texting. She was simply holding her phone to use the GPS because her car's screen was too small for her to read. She received a $150 fine on the first offense, and if it had been her second offense in that 12-month window, it would have jumped to $400 and potentially triggered a license review under her state's senior driver reassessment program. Dorothy told me she had no idea the law had changed, and that's why we're here today. Your phone must be mounted in a cradle or a dashboard holder and operated only through voice commands or a single tap. That's the rule now, and it applies in every state. This one surprised even me when I first came across it. Right turns on red have been a common courtesy of American driving since the 1970s. But in 2026, dozens of cities and counties have passed local ordinances restricting or outright banning right-on-red turns at busy intersections, particularly in urban and suburban areas where pedestrian and cyclist safety has become a critical concern. You won't always see a sign. Some of these restrictions are embedded in repainted road markings or updated traffic signal sequences. If you're driving through an unfamiliar town or city, the safest thing you can do is treat every red light as a full stop until you confirm whether a right turn is legal. The fines for making an illegal right on red now range from $75 to $250 depending on jurisdiction, and in some cases it can count against your driving record as a moving violation. All right, my friends, this is the one. Number 3, and I want you to lean in here because this is genuinely the most misunderstood change of 2026, and it's the one I see people getting wrong every single day. Here's the situation. Many modern vehicles, especially those made in the last 10 to 15 years, come equipped with automatic headlights. These lights turn on when the sensors detect low ambient light, and for years, drivers assumed that meant they were fully covered. But here's what most people don't know. Automatic headlights do not always activate the rear taillights. So your front lights might be on, making you feel visible and safe, but the driver behind you, especially in rain, fog, or early dusk, cannot see your taillights. In 2026, 12 states have updated their traffic codes to explicitly require that drivers manually select the full headlight mode, not just rely on automatic daytime running lights. During rain, fog, or any reduced visibility condition, officers can and are issuing citations. In some states, if you're in an accident and it's determined your rear lights were not properly illuminated, you could bear partial liability even if the other driver rear-ended you. The fix is simple. When it rains, when fog rolls in, when dusk settles, reach over and manually turn your headlights to the on position. Don't rely on the car to do it for you. This one habit could protect you legally and physically. Speed cameras have always been controversial, but in 2026, the number of active speed camera zones in the United States has expanded by nearly 40%, according to transportation safety reports. These cameras are now operating in school zones, hospital zones, zones, highway construction corridors, and residential neighborhoods. And the fines are issued by mail, meaning there's no officer, no warning, no mercy. What makes this particularly important for seniors is this. Many of these camera zones are in areas you've driven through for decades without incident. The zones are new, the cameras are new, and the signage isn't always obvious. A ticket mailed to your home for a speed camera violation typically runs between $50 and $150 for a first offense, and repeated violations in some states can now trigger a mandatory driving safety review, particularly for drivers over the age of 70. Slow down through all school and hospital zones, even on weekends and in the evening, because the cameras don't take days off. You already know to pull over when an emergency vehicle approaches with lights and sirens. That's not new. What is new in 2026 is the expansion of move-over laws to include additional categories of vehicles. In 41 states, the move-over requirement now applies not just to police, fire, and ambulances, but also to tow trucks, utility workers, road construction vehicles, and in some states, even rideshare drivers who have pulled over on the shoulder. The law requires you to either move to the far lane away from the stopped vehicle, or if a lane change is unsafe, reduce your speed to at least 20 miles per hour below the posted limit when passing within a certain distance. Violations carry fines averaging $250, and in some tragic cases have resulted in criminal charges when workers were struck. Please, my friends, take this one seriously. Here's one that caught the automotive industry completely off guard. Several states, including California, Washington, and Massachusetts, have updated their distracted driving statutes to include the use of built-in vehicle touchscreens for non-navigation purposes while driving. That means adjusting your radio, controlling your climate settings, or browsing entertainment features through your car's infotainment screen can now constitute distracted driving if an officer determines you were visually distracted. This is brand new territory. Automakers are scrambling to respond with voice control updates, but if you're driving a vehicle with a large touchscreen, and many of us are, the safest habit is to make all your adjustments before you pull out of the driveway. If you live in or near any mid-sized to large city, you've probably noticed the explosion of electric bikes and scooters on the road. In 2026, updated traffic codes in most urban states now give e-bikes and scooters specific right-of-way protections at intersections and in marked bike lanes. As a car driver, that means yielding to these vehicles the same way you would yield to a cyclist or pedestrian. Failure to yield to a legally operating e-bike at an intersection is now a citable moving violation in many jurisdictions, and it's one that insurance companies are watching closely. Even a minor fender bender involving an e-bike can now result in significant liability if the investigation shows you failed to yield appropriately. Now, this one is deeply personal, and I want to talk about it with the same respect and honesty I'd want someone to give me. In 2026, 8 states have reduced the license renewal interval for drivers over the age of 70 from 8 years down to 4 years. In some of those states, renewal after age 75 now requires an in-person vision screening, and in certain cases, a brief written knowledge test. This is not about discrimination. This is about making sure that every driver on the road, including our most experienced ones, has the tools, vision, and knowledge they need to stay safe. If you're approaching a renewal period, I encourage you to visit your state's DMV website now, before your renewal date, to find out exactly what will be required. Being prepared is being protected. School zone rules have always been strictly enforced, but in 2026, the definition of an active school zone has expanded to include digital flashing signs that now operate on GPS-triggered schedules, not just during traditional school hours. In some districts, these signs activate during after-school programs, athletic events, and community gatherings held at school facilities. If a school zone sign is flashing, digital or traditional, you are legally required to reduce your speed to the posted school zone limit, which in most states is 15 to 25 miles per hour. The GPS-based systems now used by many school districts can also sync with nearby speed cameras. Don't assume a 3 p.m. drive past the elementary school on a Tuesday is routine. Check whether that sign is flashing before you pass. Finally, here's one that doesn't involve your driving behavior, but absolutely affects what happens during a traffic stop. As of 2026, the majority of states have implemented real-time insurance verification systems accessible directly to law enforcement officers. That means when you're pulled over, the officer can verify your insurance status instantly without you needing to produce a paper or digital card. This sounds convenient, and it is. but it also means that if your insurance lapsed even for a single day and you weren't aware of it, it will show up immediately. Automatic payments get declined, grace periods get missed, and the fines for driving uninsured now start at $500 in most states, with potential license suspension for repeat offenses. Log into your insurance account today and confirm that your policy is active, your payment method is current, and your renewal date is marked on your calendar. My friends, I know that's a lot to take in, and I want you to know that I don't share these things to frighten you or make you feel like the road is no longer a safe place for you. Quite the opposite. I share them because you deserve to be informed, because you have every right to keep driving, to keep your independence, to get yourself to that doctor's appointment, that grandchild's birthday party, that Sunday morning church service, and I want you to do it safely and legally for as many years as you choose. The rules are changing faster than the signs on the road can keep up, but now you know, and knowing is the most powerful protection you have. Share this video with someone you love, a spouse, a sibling, a friend from church, because these laws apply to all of us, and the more people who know, the safer every road in this country becomes. Take care of yourselves out there. I'll see you in the next one.